let's move on to the team the Florida Panthers beat in the Stanley Cup final last year. And Connor McDavid doesn't want to hear any of that, Colby. Yesterday at his media scrum, he shot it down. He said, enough about last year. The Oilers have their sights set on this season, and they open things up tonight. They'll raise their Western Conference champion banner to the rafters at Rogers Place. But what are your expectations for the Oilers in the regular season this year? Because I think it is a bit of an interesting situation for them, because they're ultimately not going to be judged about what happens in these next 82 games here, but they still need to be focused, because as they learned last year, things can get out of hand in a hurry, no matter what your expectations are.
Yeah, I'm not ready to sit here and say the regular season doesn't matter for the Edmonton Oilers. And I'm not suggesting that's what you're saying either, but that is a narrative right now surrounding this team. Now, I said that about the Tampa Bay Lightning for the last number of years, because you know what? They won back-to-back cups, and they made their runs to multiple more that they didn't win, or they had deep runs. The Edmonton Oilers have not been making deep runs for the last 5 years. They've been struggling to get into the playoffs and then continue to do what they've done during the regular season. So I think the regular season is important. I think there's still roster battles that are going to take place on the back end for the Edmonton Oilers. I think Stuart Skinner, while he definitely proved himself last year during the Stanley Cup playoffs, I think he needs to continue to show us that he's a guy who could take this team to a Stanley Cup. And then again, you've got the new additions. You've got guys who now are raising their hand and they want to go play in Edmonton. Was talking to a friend of mine the other day who's unsigned, who's considering retiring. And we were talking, well, maybe LA is an option. Maybe this is an option. And he's like, those don't interest me. Honestly, I think if the Oilers reached out, we'd pack our bags and we'd go. So there's a whole new aura about this Edmonton Oilers franchise that guys are all in on. So I think the regular season matters. I think you're going to see Connor McDavid on national television in the United States more. I think there's people that got woken up to the brilliant player that he is. I loved the commercial that ESPN was running all day yesterday. It's the first time they're marketing in many years. I'm like, wow, this is really good. So I think this team has certain things to work on and figure out through the regular season, but it is Stanley Cup or bust. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, 100%. I think part of it is, you don't want to get high on your own supply or get your head filled up too much with the whole regular season. Doesn't matter. We're Stanley Cup contenders, will be judged on the playoffs. For the Oilers, there are advantages to having a good regular season. And Brian says in our chat, the Oilers want home ice advantage. And I think absolutely they should be looking to win the division. They should be looking to win the conference. They should be, quite frankly, looking to win the President's Trophy, so that no matter how far they go, they get the first games and the last games of any series on home ice. But a lot of people projecting the Oilers or picking the Oilers as their cup favorites. They open as the odds-on favorites from our friends at Bet365.
What's up, hockey fans? If you enjoyed that video, then you need to be hitting the subscribe button right here at Daily Faceoff. Exclusive interviews and analysis from our hockey insider Frank Saravalli, fantasy updates from Brock Sagan, and a daily live show at noon Eastern, Monday through Friday. You don't want to miss any of the fantastic content, so hit that subscribe button.